Hey, what's up guys, it's Francisco Reacts with another One Piece video. This time I'm gonna be doing an extension of the last episode of One Piece episode 1057, and what happened in that episode, most notably guys, the Sanji thing and what happened with Sanji in that episode. I gave it a lot of thought after that episode. What could have happened to Sanji? Why he could have potentially hit that woman? But now the thing is this: they didn't actually show us that Sanji hit the woman. Yes, she flew back, and then we just saw it in the next shot that she was laying on the ground, but we never actually saw Sanji hitting her. So it begs the question for me now: what if Sanji never actually hit her? See where I'm coming from, guys? What if Sanji never actually hit her, and it's just Oda's way of making it look to us like he hit her, and he never actually hit her? Because in this shot you see Sanji standing confused. You see this woman laying on the ground, and now the thing is this: did Sanji hit her, guys? Did Sanji hit her in this shot? I don't think so. I have my doubts about this shot and whether I should adhere to it as Sanji potentially hitting this woman, because I don't think he actually hit this woman. He didn't hit her, man. I have a feeling that something else happened there, man. What if it's Queen? What if if it was Queen that did that? Just think about it, guys. What if Queen launched an attack that wasn't visible to Sanji, and it guys, it would make a lot more sense, because Sanji was in that mindset while he was running towards that female. He was in that mindset of what Queen was telling him, so he wasn't focused on what was going on around him. So Queen sneaking in an attack at that woman would make a lot more sense. You see where I'm coming from? Than it being Sanji that hit her, because I don't want Sanji's character to change. When he begged the question, in this shot right here, guys, and I'm gonna pull it out up for you guys. Which version would profit Luffy to become the king of the pirates? For me, it has to be number one. It cannot be version 2, because there's no way, as beneficial as number 2 may be, there's no way you can tell me that over 1,000 episodes of One Piece, that Sanji's character is going to become so stale. It's gonna become so so stiff, so cold-hearted, so cold-blooded. There's no way you can tell me over 1,000 episodes of One Piece that is going to be the case. And that's why I chose number 1, because that is the version of Sanji that I've been traveling with. You see where I'm coming from, guys? That is the version of Sanji that I love. The ladies' man, the quirky side of him. Who cares if he cannot fight women? That is such a real thing, man. Just think about it. That is such a real thing. Sanji not being able to hit a woman. I mean, that's a true man there. That's a gentleman right there. You see this. That's why I was shocked when that moment happened, when I thought that Sanji hit this woman, and I swear to God, everyone that watched this episode must have thought the same thing, that Sanji went rogue that Sanji actually laid his hands on a woman. But then again, when you think about it in retrospect, when you go into the subject matter deeper, you see that that wasn't actually the case. That couldn't have been the case, because there's no way that Sanji would actually lay a hand on his woman, on a woman. Yes, he was in this negative mindset when he was running towards this woman about what Queen told him about Jerma, and Judge wanting to make this ultimate fighting machine, this cold-blooded machine, man. That was all going through his head. He was in a negative mindset, and him being in a negative mindset, and then the eventual let's say the eventual moment that happened when that woman went down. You would think that Sanji hit that woman because he was literally trying to fight the demons in his head, and with that, the impact of the woman going down, it made it look like he hit the woman, but it can't be. It couldn't have been, man. And that's why I'm saying right now to you guys, just to clear it up, that Sanji did not hit that woman. He couldn't have hit her. He couldn't have, man. It must have been someone else, man. And the only person that can come up to my head right now is Queen. It had to be Queen. It had to be him, man. It couldn't have been anyone else. It had to be Queen, man. That is Queen's way of just wanting to see Sanji go to that dark place, you know. Sanji going using Germa's technology, most notably the suit, man. That is, it was keep on going on about. He's just wanting to Sanji to activate the raid suit. In the last episode, I'm glad he destroyed it. I'm glad he said his piece to Germa, man. He even said his piece to the woman's bath, man. Which tells me Sanji is gonna go all out here in Queen, and we saw what he meant by that, man. We saw Hell's memories. We saw what he did to Queen at the end of that episode. So which tells me Sanji's not gonna hold back. He's not gonna be distracted with negative thoughts anymore. This is it, man. This is the final leg, man, when it comes to Sanji versus Queen, man. This is it, man. This fight is gonna come to an end, man, in the next coming episodes. Starting next episode, this fight will go towards its end. And another thing about the last episode is that what Sanji said to Zoro, man, which came as a surprise to me, man. He told Zoro that if he should lose his mind after this fight, man, that Zoro should take his life, man. That Zoro should end his life, man. That is how dire it has become for Sanji, man. That is how much he despises his family, that he is willing to die if he should be overcome by their technology, man. That's how much he despises his family, man. That he much rather die if he should become one of them, man. Just think about that, man, and how beautiful it is, man. How beautifully written that is, man. That someone is willing to die as long as they can be saved from becoming the person that they have vowed never to become, man. And that is beautiful when you look at it at that perspective, man. It's Sanji's viewpoint, man. This is the family that despised him, man. This is the family that bullied him, man. He was bullied by his siblings, man. He was absolutely berated by his own father, Judge, man. his own father disowning him, man, just because he couldn't unlock the enhancements that were planted inside of him. When you look at the history of Jerma, with Sanji, man, and how Sanji is absolutely just despising his family, man, despising that part of his family, man. The only family that ever cared about him were Zeph, man, and his work at Barati A, man. When we first met Sanji, man, that is the only family that ever cared for him. Judge didn't care for him. Judge only saw him as a tool, man. Judge only saw him as a weapon of destruction, man. And Sanji, man, was so much more than what Judge and Jeremiah as a whole saw him, man. And when you think about the different past of Sanji, man, where he grew up, man. Yes, he was born in that family. He was born in Jerma. But who raised him? Who showed him the morals? Who showed him the different morals of life? Zeph did that. Zeph showed him the different values of life, man. Zeph told him, showed him the way, man. When it comes to woman, man, Zeph told him to never lay his hands on a woman, and that's exactly what he did, man. He took those morals and he took it with such pride, man, never to overstep those boundaries, never ever to break those morals, man. And that is exactly what Sanji held up to, man, up to this point, man. And you want to tell me that Sanji is just going to break those morals, man, and lay his hands on a woman, man? Sanji wasn't taught that, man. He was raised by a person that had to be taught those morals himself, man. In Zeph, man. Zeph was a cold-hearted pirate. Zeph was a ruthless man, and the fact that he, after that accident, him having to imprint those morals, man, into himself, man, and him giving those same morals to Sanji, man, just goes to show, man, who's the better character, man, in terms of just having the morals, the values of what it means to be a human, man. And if you should put Zeph and Judge together, man, who has the better morals, man? Who has the better character, man? It's Zeph, man. It has to be Zeph, because Zeph is more human than Judge, man. Judge sees his children as weapons for war, man. And that mindset, man, that is not right, man. And that is what Sanji tried to show Judge, man. He tried to show that you can be just as destructive as a human being. You don't have to be a machine. You don't have to be advanced, man. You don't have to have modifications. And that's exactly what Sanji showed, man. Sanji showed that you don't have to be a monster. You don't have to be ruthless to have human values, man. And Judge don't have that, man. Judge, that's why he created this Jerma army, man. These robotic army, man. That's why he created them, man. Because in a way, Judge is, when it comes to insecurity, man, Judge is the most insecure character, because he don't trust in his own power, man. He don't trust in his own human capabilities, man. He relies on technology. He relies on these things, man, that is not human, man. And that in of itself, man, it is, you can literally take that, man, and just put it into actual life, man, and how insecure people can become, man, and how insecure people can be, man. They are people can become so insecure that they don't even trust in their own strength, that they don't even believe in their own power, man, in their own human capabilities, man. And that's why Jerma for me, man, is the most when it comes to be just inhumane, being inhuman, man. Jerma has to be on top of the list for me, man, because there's no way that you can imprint principles of inhumanity into your own children like that, that you don't even care about their humanity, you don't even care about their human aspects, man. Dharma for me, man, is probably the worst when it comes to characters, man. They are the worst, man. And yeah, man. And what the last episode of One Piece showed me, man, is that it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter how far you try to run, how hard you try to escape your past. It always finds a way to catch up to you, man. And that's exactly what happened in the last episode. The past caught up to Sanji, man. He should have never, ever, ever since he set his foot into the new world, man. Ever since that, man. Ever since he did that, man, that is when he sealed his fate, man. That is when Jerma concocted this plan to capture him, man. And ever since then, man, it just went down for Sanji, man. It just went downhill for Sanji. The seeds were planted, man, for his eventual, I don't want to call it demise, because Sanji did have a level of control over his emotions, man. He did have a level of control over the situation of Jerma, man. So I cannot really say that the seeds were planted for his demise, man. Because what the last episode showed me is that Sanji still has control over his thoughts, man. He didn't completely lose himself. Yes, there was that moment, that split moment. It wasn't a drawn out moment where he was assaulting the woman, where he was going absolutely ballistic on her. It was just the tiny moment where he may have lost himself, but whether he hit the woman, that's another thing. I don't think he hit her, man. I'm gonna hold true to that, man. I don't think he hit her. Yes, he was conflicted on all the things Queen said to him about him becoming like his family, like Jerma, and it just triggered something in his head, man. He tried to fight it. It was like he was fighting his demons, man. It was like he was fighting something in his head that he just couldn't overcome, man. And just in that moment, he lost himself for that split second, man. And whether he hit her, I don't know. I'm just gonna say this, that I don't think he hit her. But with that being said, I don't know. The camera angles, it was a bit sketchy to me. It was inconclusive of whether Sanji actually hit this woman or not. I don't know. Maybe hit her. I don't know. But a large part of me says that he didn't hit her. He couldn't have hit her. That's unlike Sanji. Sanji has faced worst. Sanji has faced worst over the 1,000 episodes that we have followed Sanji's journey with the Stroids, man. You cannot honestly tell me that Sanji got overcame by that. I just don't believe it, guys. There's absolutely no way. Oh, on God's green earth that you can tell me that Sanji got overcame by Germa's technology to an extent where the principles that Jeff taught him went out of the window, got thrown out of the window. There's no way in hell you can tell me that. I don't believe that. Sanji did not hit this woman. It couldn't have been that. There's no way he hit her. That's unlike Sanji's character. I couldn't even comprehend if Sanji could have been able to do that. Especially after the Black Maria thing, man. He got pummeled, man. He got humiliated. He got obliterated by a woman, man. And he still couldn't lay a single finger on her, man. It didn't even happen that long ago, man. Where Sanji was trapped by a woman and he still couldn't hit her, man. And in the same arc, you want to tell me that he could have done that a long time ago? He could have done that to Black Maria. He could have lost his mind and just went in on Black Maria. You want to tell me he could have done that to Black Maria? There's no way that Sanji hit this woman. No way. He went through hell with Black Maria. Black Maria pummeled him. And he couldn't lay a single finger on her. And you want to tell me that all of that was thrown out of the window when he had he battled the demons inside of his head. You want to tell me all of that went out of the window? He couldn't lay his hand on Black Maria. Here comes a geisha from the flower capital, stands in his way, and all of a sudden, he strikes her down. A total nobody, man. He strikes down a nobody. He couldn't even hit one of the Toby Rappo that was a female. And here comes this random geisha. And he strikes her down. Just think about it. It makes no sense. If there was a woman for him to hit, it should have been Black Maria, because Black Maria was a ferocious threat. Even to Robin, man. Robin struggled against Black Maria. She had to go to this dark place to actually defeat Black Maria. And here comes come on. It's a random character. It's a random character. Just look at this. It's a random character that Sanji supposedly struck down. It makes no sense, guys. It absolutely makes no sense. Why would he strike down a random character that's a woman, but he couldn't even strike down one of the main antagonists in Black Maria, man? Just think about it. Why would Sanji do that? And in this instance, throw all of that out of the window just so that he can strike down a random character. It makes no sense, guys. In retrospect, Sanji shouldn't have been able to do that. In retrospect, why did he do it? Why? If he couldn't even lay his fingers or his hands or whatever part of his body to Black Maria. Just think about it. What sense does that make then? You see where I'm coming from, guys? It just doesn't make any sense. Which it even reiterates my point from earlier. Sanji couldn't have hit this woman. It must have been Queen. It couldn't have been Sanji. Because this is the same Sanji that already wore the raid suit before he encountered Black Maria. So he should have lost his mind then. He should have become a cold-blooded killer then. He should have went toe-to-toe with Black Maria because he already wore the red suit, man. He already wore it multiple times before facing Black Maria. You see this? It just doesn't connect. It doesn't work, guys. The last episode is mind-boggling, man. Why would Sanji hit this woman? Why would he hit this random woman? It makes no sense, man. No, man, he didn't hit her. He didn't hit her, man. I made up my mind. Sanji didn't hit this woman. It couldn't have been Sanji, man. It's Queen. It's gotta be Queen, man. Queen hit her, man. If there's ever a way for Sanji's character to be redeemed here, is for it to have been Queen that struck down this woman. You see this? It had to be Queen, man. Because if you are going on with the notion that Sanji hit this woman, and it's actually revealed in the next episode that he actually hit her. Because in the last episode, he was confused. Why would Sanji go out of his way to explain his situation that he didn't struck down this woman? Why would he say it's a misunderstanding, that he didn't do anything? You see where I'm coming from? There's a lot of clues in whether Sanji could have hit this woman or whether it was someone else. Him being all confused, him not knowing if he did hit this woman or not. You see where I'm coming from? Why would he go out of his way to make his point, to plead his innocence if he didn't do it? Or if he did do it, why would he plead his innocence? Why would he go out of his way to state his case to this geisha that he didn't strike down this woman, even though this woman that got struck down said that he did it? You see where I'm coming from? There's a lot of holes here, man. Not exactly potholes, man. There's a lot of holes that's just inconsistent here. There's a lot of inconsistency when it comes to that moment where Sanji struck this woman down, man. I don't know, man. Because in this moment right here, man, in this moment right here, Sanji is all confused on whether if he did strike down this woman. Why would he be confused? Shouldn't he know that for sure that he struck her down? Shouldn't he know that for sure? He should know that, right? Why would he be all confused on whether he struck her down or not? I don't know, guys, man. When it comes to the last episode of One Piece, it begs the question of whether Sanji actually got overtaken by the modifications of Germa's technology, man. I don't know, guys. It's mind-boggling to me. But yeah, guys, I've come down to the end of this. We're just gonna have to find out what happens in the next episode, guys. I hope Sanji didn't do this. I hope Sanji didn't do this. But with that being said, guys, I've come to the end of my One Piece episode 1057 breakdown of the last episode of One Piece, guys. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, turn on all of those notifications for updates so that you can be updated every time I release a One Piece reaction. And I'll see you in the next One Piece reaction. Goodbye, guys.